Yo, what is up? It is JackEL here, and I wanted to make a video about how to succeed in the music industry in 2025 and beyond. These are techniques, tactics that will guide you on your journey. I wish you the best of luck. I just recently released a book titled How to Succeed in the Music Industry in 2025 and Beyond. And today we're just going to be going over some of the stuff in the book. So I highly recommend you go and grab yourself a copy from this book to get the full detail, the full information. But today we're going to kind of be skimming through the chapters, going over the details, and there's still going to be a lot of good information. So feel free to take notes if you need. From my perspective, in 2025, one of the most important things that you're going to need is consistency. Even if you have a really good month of dropping music and content, reels, photos, you want to translate that over to the next month and have an even better month and kind of build up the growth, build up the traction, the attention. Try not to take weeks off or months off from your posting, from your releasing. We live in a time where your fans and consumers need a lot of content. You got to stay on the grind and keep on going. Just know right off the rip that succeeding in the music industry literally means something different for everybody. So define what your goals and dreams are, write it down, really know what you want to achieve, because there's no same path in life. Either you're going to want to get a lot of streams, you're going to want to get a lot of gigs, be on TV, be on the radio. Whatever your goals are, try to have them clear in front of you. It'll make things easier. Really take a moment and think about what you're trying to achieve in this industry. Whether you're a producer, a DJ, an artist, a singer, songwriter, you want to get really clear. Write it out and update it all the time. It's totally cool to update the list weekly, daily, monthly. You're going to be inspired, you're going to be pushed in different directions, and that's totally okay. Let's talk about how consistent you should really be. In 2025, it's common for artists to release a song weekly, bi-weekly. Do you have the bandwidth to handle that? It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong answer here. With some artists that I'm working with, we tested the theory and released a song every Friday for the entire year. And we did that in 2024, so the year's done. And I got to look at the analytics to that and see how that really helped. Honestly, it didn't do much. It didn't trigger the algorithm and get Spotify to really love this artist and bring more streams or anything. So I wouldn't recommend releasing a track every single week. It just seems kind of overkill. And that's a lot of material to even have to market and have to promote. By the time your fans catch on to some of the tunes, you're already releasing 2 or 3 or 4 more others. So I wouldn't recommend releasing a track every week. I would say it's probably more appropriate to do 2 or even 1 big release a month so you can focus on really pushing it. But that's not to say that you shouldn't be cranking out remixes if you're a DJ producer and just dropping as many of those as you possibly can, to get them in the flow, the algorithms, and the feed. So remixes, bootlegs, club edits, and all that stuff, definitely cool to release a lot of those. No matter what time frame you find works for you and your audience, just try to stay consistent with it. If you are releasing a track a month, that's doable. You can probably make that work. There's no doubt that teaming up with people and labels and companies and friends and other producers, other artists, it's the right move to do. You can accomplish more with other people than just doing everything by yourself. If you're making all these tracks yourself, that's incredible and I'm proud of you. But you should consider sending them off to labels to release the track. They've got their own fan base, they've got their own distribution. That alone is potentially the opportunity to reach more fans, reach more listeners. So definitely send tracks off to labels and utilize other networks. Feel free to mix it up too, mix self-releasing up with label releases. If you submit to labels, usually they're going to take a while to release the track anyways. So if they schedule that in for you, you can mix that up with your own self-releases, your own remixes, and just have a good release schedule ready to go. I always get excited when I have an up-and-coming release. I'm like, yes. I feel like it's always good to have 1 track that's scheduled for release. Just like I think it's important to have 1 gig scheduled in the tour schedule, just to always have something coming up. It's really easy to get in your head, start comparing yourself with other artists, and then not even want to move forward on the tracks that you spent so much time creating. If that relates to you, if that, rings a bell at all, then we're similar. I want to advise you guys that you are one of a kind and you should be finishing your tracks and then scheduling them to come out or sending them to labels. If you want to have full control as an artist, you're going to want to pick a good music distributor and you're probably going to want to start your own record label as well. Then you have complete control to release tracks whenever you want. You don't have to wait for a label to make decisions for you. It's just a modern way to have more control, and all the rights essentially would go to you and the distributor. There's a huge list of music distributors out there. Spend some time finding out which one works for you. Also, just experiment, trial and error. Every single release that you release will just compound your fan base and your reach. We're aiming to grow with each release and almost each post. We want your monthly listeners to be going up. We want your engagement each month to be going up. It's possible. We just have to compound, utilize the momentum, and stay consistent. There's always ways to find shortcuts and try to maybe pay something somewhere to get you more likes, more views, and more attention. And there's always options for that. Hell, Spotify, YouTube, Soundcloud, they all offer paid promotional options. Just be careful with relying so much on it. A and B test it, trial and error, and see if the marketing is really working, if they're utilizing your money. You'll know. Sometimes it might seem difficult to figure out what your brand identity is all about. The specific colors, the specific themes, maybe the specific genre of music. But as you mature and as you kind of figure out, okay, I don't make country, so that's not me, it helps to figure out what you are as an artist. I wanted to touch on how the human mind is honestly really halting us from reaching our true artistic potential. Sometimes we overthink the song, we overthink the post, we overthink everything. And to be honest, the people that are checking out the post or listening to the song, they're just enjoying it from their perspective, and they're probably not overthinking it. They're just checking it out, enjoying it or not, and scrolling away. So as an artist, I hope that you guys can build some confidence with just getting out of your head, releasing the music you're working on, finishing it, making those posts, making that content, even when it seems impossible. It actually gets easier once you just start doing it. Just do it. Just move forward. Just go. Finish the track to the best of your ability and move on. Now, it's just totally common that most artists and their content, it's all social media influencing and it's all digital marketing. As you guys may or may not know, there's not much CD and vinyl sales anymore. Most of the streams and plays are coming from Spotify and Apple. And it's important to know that and know that that's probably where you want to start building up your fan base. How can you expand your reach on Spotify and Apple? Well, it's important to look at all the different possible options. But again, you want to keep the marketing authentic. You don't want to be just chasing a lot of streams or plays. You want to be building diehard true fans that love your music. How is that possible? Well, you want to be getting in front of them with your music, which might seem like an impossible task, but that's where live performances come into play and just strategic digital marketing for your music on Spotify and Apple and places where people are actively listening, wherever the biggest audiences are, like YouTube. Just touching briefly on Spotify marketing, Spotify does offer paid options where you can pay Spotify directly to help you. You hear a lot of people talking about the Facebook ads to get Spotify streams, and I would highly recommend checking that out as well to see if that works out for you. I've noticed that the Spotify playlisting marketing is still effective. It's still very rampant. You want to be getting in these playlists, created by Spotify, created by yourself, and created by other people that have a large following, so you can actually get streams on your tracks as well. Just think about somebody that just shuffles music, right? And they just want to hear Tiesto, so they play Tiesto, and the next thing you know, your song comes up because you managed to get into a playlist by Tiesto or something like that. That's kind of the thinking you want to do, is you want to be getting into as many playlists as possible. Definitely want to be collaborating with as many artists as you possibly can. I would recommend, guys, collaborate your networks, collaborate your brands. You want to be expanding together, learning new techniques, having fun. And if somebody has 10,000, 100,000, a million monthly listeners themselves, and then you release a track with them, you can reach those new monthly listeners. That'll help your brand tremendously. I hope you guys have heard about the concept superfans, because it's an important concept to know that not all your fans are the same level of fan. My mom is a super fan. She buys all my merch. That's what you're aiming for at times, is to not just have somebody that loves your music, but somebody that would also buy the VIP package, the merch, tunes into all your content, likes a lot of the posts. Like, the next level fan, the super fan. You got to really appreciate your super fans and let them know that they're special. Those are the type of fans that will sustain your music career and will help you keep the lights on. To grow, you're going to have to learn from your failures. You're going to have to test stuff. You're going to have to throw money places and see what sticks. And you're really just going to have to experiment. Follow your heart. If you just want to make hardcore techno music and you know that there's not the biggest fan base for that, and maybe you're getting 0 likes on Instagram because you're just starting, that's okay. Just start using the hashtags more, find the audiences, find the niches, and eventually you'll notice that 0 will turn to 1 and it will turn to 10. And with your consistency and your unique vibes, you will build a community. Speaking personally from my own point of view, I've been in the music industry for about 15 years. It's quite the industry. I would recommend definitely trying to find some teammates that can assist you on your journey. Friends, family members, management, agents, whoever can help you facilitate certain tasks. Social media managers will relieve a lot of pressure from you to stay consistent on there. It all will help. Nobody's going to care more about your releases than you should. And nobody's going to care more about your artist brand than you should. So keep the passion alive, keep the fire alive, stay inspired, and stay in control. There's a lot of power in real world connections. So I highly recommend that you go out, you attend events, you support, and you take the digital connections and you convert them to real world connections. If you're traveling and you have a friend or a label or an artist in a city, let them know you're coming by. Try to say hello and grab a cup of coffee. Just like if there's events in your city being thrown, try to attend, show face, and support. It'll mean a lot to the people throwing the events. They may even want to book you in the future. So keep those real world connections alive. The live performance music industry is still alive, and I hope that you guys have goals to actually want to perform places and tour. There's lots of potential to make money in touring. There's lots of potential to reach new fans, sell your merchandise, and I highly recommend that you actively start planning tours for your own brand. Get hands-on, start emailing clubs, promoters, start calling, start planning a tour in your country or maybe even abroad. There's tons of opportunities. There's no right answer. Some gigs pay a lot. Some gigs you have to pay to perform, and it's just the way it is. Take risks and see how it pans out. Obviously, don't take a risk that you can't afford. But sometimes it's just fantastic to show face and be involved in something new. You just want to keep the momentum going, and your Instagram followers and everyone's going to appreciate to see that you're on the road, traveling, doing what you love. Obviously, in 2025, you're probably going to have to work with social media. It's kind of inevitable. It's here to stay, and you want to be posting on the social medias, even if you hate it and you don't want to, and you're getting no likes. Just stay consistent, stay posting. Don't worry about the likes, the views, because it's not about the little numbers. It's just about the after a year of posting every day or, a couple times a week, to see those numbers add up, that's going to be a lot more impressive. So don't worry about the day-to-day numbers. Just worry about staying consistent and utilizing your brand. Either way, guys, I had a lot of fun making this book, How to Succeed in the Music Industry in 2025 and Beyond. It was totally fun just to flow my thoughts out on paper, and it's so great to see you guys benefiting from it and all the positive comments. If you guys enjoyed any part of this video today, then I'm super glad and super grateful. I wish you guys the best in your artistic journey, and I hope you guys check out the full version of the book to gain way more insights and way more specific information. These are just a couple tips and tricks, and I'll be doing more videos like this. Bye for now, guys. Peace.